Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another installment, Becoming Sister Wives. We're in the third section of the book now, chapter 9, and it is in the point of view of Mary. I'm back on my iPad, so that's why you can see the actual book. People always ask us if we have a system for running our family, especially for raising our kids. Every time we seem to get some sort of system in place, things change. We move, we change jobs, our kids grow up, and the whole thing reinvents itself. One of the biggest challenges we faced in figuring out how polygamy would work for us was learning how each wife would maintain her own autonomy while being an important part of the family. When Janelle and Cody first married, the three of us shared a bank account. It wasn't long before we learned this wasn't an ideal situation for anyone. Money is a tricky subject. Our situation was particularly delicate since we were all new to polygamy. Our joint bank account was definitely a big part of the struggles we had as a new plural family. When it was just Cody and me, we shared a bank account. All the purchases came out of this account. We paid all the bills from this account. Since it was just the two of us, it was easy to know what we needed and what finances we had available to us. It was comfortable for the two of us to both use the same account. We would talk about what bills needed to be paid and what purchases we wanted to make, either individually or as a household. Although we both had access to the account, Cody took some part of it. I usually paid the bills each month. When Janelle came into the family, we added her to the bank account. I didn't think any of us really thought about how this would affect us as a whole. Even back then, we would all discuss what income was each month and what needed to be paid. We worked out a budget for the family, including a grocery budget. We were young and new in our jobs and careers, so there wasn't usually an abundance of spending money. We'd have to save up if we wanted something special. Cody was in sales, so there were times when he would have a particularly good month, and we could put the extra money into either paying down a bill or towards something we had been saving for. While the three of us always discussed where the money would go each month, I was usually the one who actually paid the bills and divided up the budget. At the time, I saw no problem in this, only to realize later that Janelle felt that I was controlling the finances. In my mind, since we had all discussed it as a family, I was only executing the decision that the three of us had already made. I realize now how detrimental that has been to my relationship with Janelle. Looking back, I don't remember when we usually decided to get our own bank accounts. I can only assume that one or all of us discovering that having only the one bank account didn't give each of us, including our own autonomy, which is very important in a family structure like ours. When we got our own bank accounts, Janelle and I were able to start creating our own autonomy. We didn't have to check in with each other about our spending. We didn't have to be concerned about whether the other would disapprove of a particular purchase. We could handle our own financial affairs as we liked and feel like we were individuals who contributed to the same family. Ever since we made this decision, Janelle and I, and subsequently the other sister wives, have kept our finances separate. As our family has grown, we handle our finance the way we handle our finances. We handle our finances continue to evolve. The most effective way we found to manage our money thus far is for each of us to take the ownership of certain family bills, whether it's the mortgage, the cell phone bill, or a car payment. Even though the bills we pay may not be technically in our own name, we divide them based on each person's income level. Having a large family, as we do, are often major expenses. There have been times for each of us when we needed help from the family as a group to take care of a certain issue. Usually, if a wife needs help with something, she'll talk to Cody about it. Many times, Cody's help is all that's needed. There have been times, however, when he will go to another sister wife or wives to see who's financially able to pull resources and get a particularly tight financial situation taken care of. Remember one time years ago when the transmission went out in my car, we all knew it was important to have a working vehicle, so we pulled together to get it taken care of. Most of his married life, Cody has been a salesman. As most people know, in this line of work, you can have good months or you can have very bad months. When he had months that are not so good, we all contribute to get the mortgage paid. On the other hand, when he has a good month and ends up with some unexpected cash in his wallet, we can either play catch up on the bad months, or he has been using some of it for something fun, maybe a trip with the wife and their kids. Our first commitment is always to the family. However, as the kids have grown older and we move into separate households, we began to live a little more independently from one another. We look after our own kids, our own homes, and take care of our business in our own way, but this wasn't always the case. When our oldest kids were young, Janelle worked full-time, Christine worked part-time, so for the majority of the day, I was a stay-at-home mom. In a lot of areas, I'm a lot more particular about certain things than my sister wives are. I tend to like a little more order and quiet. I have a clear idea about when and how to discipline the kids. I really struggle when I see the kids being disrespectful to their parents. It has always been an important part to me that our children grow up with a strong sense of respect for both people and things. When the kids were young, I tried very hard to instill this in them. I wanted them to respect one another by playing nicely together and getting along. I wanted them to respect their parents by being obedient and not talking back when asked to do something. When I see one of our children do this, it sure gets my Irish up. I also think it's necessary for children to respect things. This could be each other's toys, their private space, and yes, this could also be furniture. I'm the type of mom who doesn't allow jumping on furniture. I know I've not always been looked too highly upon by some of my sister wives because this makes me seem too strict, but my furniture has definitely outlived some of theirs. I remember a time years ago when Cody was sort of getting after me because he didn't want the kids to feel like they were walking into a museum when they came into my house. I think, however, that he has mellowed somewhat about that opinion as he has seen my household furniture last longer than that of my sister wives. Over the years, I have also learned to relax when it comes to the way the kids act in my home. While I expect them to treat me and my space with respect and not act like wild animals running through the house, I have become more patient when they do. Back when I took charge of most days of daycare in our family, I was comfortable disciplining all of the children.